You start off excited, everything goes well in the first few minutes, but suddenly the penis begins to lose firmness. Right in the middle of sex, your mind goes on alert. Your body freezes and you don't understand what just happened. And no matter how much you try to hide it, the feeling of frustration hits hard. This should not be treated as normal. A man shouldn't have to go through this every time he wants to enjoy a moment of intimacy. I'm Dr. Rose Jones, a urologist, and in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why this happens, and most importantly, how to prevent this situation in a practical, natural way that respects how your body works. Your erection doesn't depend only on desire. It relies on a balance of several factors that most men are never taught, and very few actually talk about if you want a firm erection throughout the entire experience and want to enjoy sex without fear of failure. Pay close attention. What I'm going to show you can completely change the way you experience your sexuality. Before we continue, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. This space is dedicated to men's sexual health, with straightforward experience-based medical content. If this topic speaks to you, leave a comment right now. Type 1 if you like the subject of this video, or 0 if it wasn't for you. That really helps me understand what matters most to you. Let's move on. Some men go into sex with their head full of worry, checking constantly to see if the penis is firm enough. This habit of looking, thinking, and analysing all the time has the opposite effect. The brain senses that something is wrong. When that happens, the body goes into alert mode and the nervous system releases stress hormones. The result, blood flow decreases right where it's needed most, and the erection begins to fade. The more you try to control it, the harder it becomes to stay aroused. Constantly focusing on performance pulls your attention away from pleasure from your partner and from the connection. And that connection is what sustains desire and keeps your body responding. Well, the penis doesn't work under pressure. It responds to stimulation, relaxation, and emotional presence. One man told me that when he stopped focusing so much on his body and started paying attention to the touch, the scent, the sounds, and the presence of his partner, everything changed. His erection became more stable, his anxiety dropped, and the entire experience became much more satisfying. Observe less, feel more, that's the key. There's a very specific point in sexual arousal that most men have never learned to identify. We call it the 90 point. It's when the arousal is almost at its peak, but you still have control if you go past that. The body starts preparing for ejaculation, even if it doesn't actually happen. And that's where the problem begins. The brain believes stimulation is over and may signal the end of the erection, even if you're trying to keep going. Many men think that holding back ejaculation means they're in control, but real control happens before that limit. Once you cross it, even slightly, your body enters a kind of transition zone in that zone. If you try to keep pushing forward, the risk of losing your erection increases even without ejaculating. The brain has already begun the shutdown process. It's like trying to brake a car at high speed. If you wait too long, you lose control. That's why recognizing the 90-point training your awareness and learning to slow down just before reaching it is so important. The men who master this can manage their bodies much better without depending on luck in the bedroom. It's not magic, it's training. If you're facing this kind of difficulty and want to regain firmness during sex with more confidence and pleasure, I've prepared a complete resource to help you in my digital book. Rediscovering Intimacy, Healthy Sexuality After 60, you'll find practical guidance to improve your erections, reignite desire, and strengthen connection in your relationship. Even with the natural changes that come with age. The link is in the first pinned. Comment: sexual anxiety doesn't start in bed. It begins earlier. It starts with thoughts like, what if I fail? What if she notices something? Will I be able to last? These questions build up and the body reacts with tension. The heart races, breathing becomes irregular, and the brain switches to a state of alert. And even though it might feel like control, that's the opposite of what your body needs for a strong erection when you're anxious. The sympathetic nervous system takes over. That system was designed for danger, not for pleasure. It redirects blood flow away from the sexual organs and focuses your attention on threat signals. In other words, your body acts like it's in danger, and no one performs well when they're fighting against their own defense system. One man told me he would start sex, already worried about the outcome that blocked everything over time. He learned to slow down. He started breathing deeper, focusing on the sensations instead of the result, and that changed everything. Anxiety is resolved through presence. Being in the right moment with the right focus transforms the entire experience. Your body needs to feel safe to function properly. Not every erection comes from physical stimulation alone. There's a type of fuel behind it, called desire, and desire needs to be cultivated over time. Many men begin sex with an erection, but as the minutes go by, they lose firmness that happens because they're reacting to the moment without truly being erotically engaged. Erotic engagement is the process of preparing your body and mind for intimacy. It's not just about physical contact, but about what you feel, imagine, and want. When that's weak, your body might respond at first, but it won't keep up. It's like trying to keep a fire burning with no wood. A common mistake is relying only on the partner's presence or the heat of the moment to feel desire. But desire is something that must be built. It needs stimulation throughout the day, the week, through moments that engage the brain and keep curiosity alive. Small habits like thinking about erotic scenes, recalling pleasant experiences, or fantasizing lightly help keep that energy available. Sex with real desire is more intense, lasts longer, and is much more pleasurable for both. The way a man masturbates has a direct impact on his sexual response during intimacy with a partner. Many develop the habit of stimulating themselves quickly, mechanically, and without emotional involvement. This conditions the brain to seek immediate pleasure without time for connection or control. The body learns that pattern, and when it comes time for real intimacy, it tries to repeat that rushed rhythm, which ends up harming both arousal and erection. In addition, excessive use of pornography is another factor that negatively affects performance. Constant exposure to intense and varied visual stimuli raises the arousal threshold too high. In other words, what once triggered desire starts to lose its effect. The brain gets used to increasingly intense scenes, and in real life may not react the same way, even with a willing partner present. A man once told me that after years of masturbating to videos, he lost emotional sensitivity during real sex. When he started masturbating with more attention, using imagination and noticing the sensations, everything began to change. His body relearned real pleasure. The quality of masturbation defines the quality of the sexual response. This is not an exaggeration. It's neurophysiology. Men who feel insecure during sex usually haven't received clear guidance about how their own body works. Many reach adulthood without knowing how to train the mind to deal with arousal, how to recognize physical signs, or how to stay in control. And it's this lack of preparation that turns fear of failure into actual failure. Just like any other skill, sexual performance can and should be trained. That includes getting to know which stimuli work best. Practicing exercises for ejaculation control, such as pelvic floor exercises, and even strengthening mental focus with positive visualization in one of my consultations. I heard from a patient who noticed a difference. After just 2 weeks of practice, he began to better understand his own rhythm, and gradually his confidence came back. That didn't happen by chance. It was the direct result of mindful practice and proper guidance. The body and the brain need to work together. This isn't about magic formulas, but about self-knowledge and repetition. When a man embraces this process, he discovers just how much he can improve to maintain a firm erection throughout the entire sexual encounter. It's essential to understand that 3 elements work together: relaxation, erotic engagement, and control. When only one is present, the result is unstable. The man might relax, but not feel desire. Or he might feel desire, but lack control, or try to control things, but stay too tense. The balance of these 3 pillars is what sustains performance. Naturally, relaxation allows the body to respond to stimulation without interference from tension when the nervous system is calm. Blood flow improves significantly. Erotic engagement keeps desire active throughout the encounter, fueling arousal and keeping interest alive. And control helps prevent arousal from passing the ideal point, avoiding unexpected loss of erection. I've seen men who focused only on one of these aspects. One, for example, had excellent physical control, but didn't nurture his desire and ended up feeling disconnected in the middle of sex. Once he began strengthening the other 2 pillars, he realized that good performance isn't about effort. It's about balance. Each pillar supports the other. When all 3 are aligned, the erection is no longer a concern. It becomes a natural result of being fully present and prepared. If you've made it this far, you already understand that losing an erection in the middle of sex isn't about weakness or lack of desire. It happens because of habits, thoughts, and bodily responses that can be adjusted with the right knowledge and consistent practice. Holding on to tension, automatic masturbation, or neglecting desire throughout the day. All of this directly affects performance. Now tell me in the comments, had you ever heard of the 90 point before? Did you know that going past that limit could shut down your erection even without ejaculation? If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. Your like tells YouTube that this is valuable content, and that helps more men find the information they truly need. And if you want to dive deeper, there are more videos on this channel about ejaculation, control, libido, and improving intimate health after 60. Go check them out. Every detail makes a difference if you haven't subscribed. Yet now is the time. Men's sexual health deserves serious attention with clear and accessible guidance.